If you listen to Taylor Swift's music, you'll know that there is lightweight feminist messaging that appears throughout her songs, right? Not only is it being wronged by an ex and heartbreak, it's beyond that. It is, and again, I would call myself I'm like a 15% fan of Swift. I like some albums, don't care for others. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's very much about like being your own person, not being someone's appendage, not the deception you feel when you put all of your hopes and dreams into a man and he kind of disappoints you, or he doesn't see you as a full person, like Republicans do. But anyway, that's very lightweight. It's very lightweight. But because our politics in this country are so skewed to the right, any normal person listening to Taylor Swift's lyrics and is like, yeah, I am a woman who is a human being and deserves rights. There's automatically like a liberal bias in her music. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there's already a liberal bias because she just wants to be a full human. You know what I'm saying? And back in January, we covered this because it was in the midst of the Taylor Swift tour. Back in January, and this is according to the New York Times, the right was freaking out about the possibility that Taylor Swift could endorse Joe Biden. Because what was happening? Taylor Swift was taking the stage every single night across this country and across the world, and millions of screaming young women, a lot of them white women, but not all, very diverse, but a lot of them white women, again, arguably all the people that these incels want to date, were like fawning over their god, who is Taylor Swift, right? For whatever reason, it's Taylor Swift. They like her music. They like her vibe. Don't blame them. She's a fucking pop star. And they were freaking out about her potentially getting into politics. So remember, obviously she's also dating Travis Kelce of the Chiefs. I don't really care. This is according to the Times. Taylor Swift has not uttered a word about the 2024 presidential election, but the mere prospect that the pop star could endorse President Biden has sent conservatives on Fox News into conniptions. Why would someone as popular as she alienate your fans, the Swifties? Janine Pirro said on The Five before addressing the singer directly. So don't get involved. Don't get involved in politics. We don't want to see you there. And if you think I'm doing a bad impression, let's actually watch it because I think I'm kind of crushing.
Hurt her more.
Well, that's the first issue that I came up with myself. Why would someone as popular as she is alienate? And I'm not saying, it's going to be, people are going to hate her, but why alienate your fans, the Swifties? They come across from every political ideology. Why put yourself in one area? And then the other mistake,
because she believes that women are full citizens. Like, truly, that's why. Truly, that's it. This does not have to be political at all. Taylor Swift is ostensibly not political. Her feminism is not all that groundbreaking. It is not radical. It is simply she believes in, when to decide to have a family. And she believes that she doesn't need to have a family if she doesn't want to. She can be unmarried and in her 30s. Because she's not in a covered wagon, like escaping the engines on a little house on a prairie, that makes her political? No. Your reality, the right's reality, has made someone like Taylor Swift, who is not political, political.
Is that Biden is assuming that if she gets involved in this election, and she did support Joe Biden in 2020, so it's not unusual for her to get involved in politics. And you're right with the Marsha Blackburn kicked that guy's butt. But again, that's Tennessee. And, but with the young vote, a new poll shows that 18% of voters are more likely to back a Taylor Swift endorsed candidate. But listen to this. 17% are less likely to vote for someone she chooses. So they cancel each other out.
Yeah. Right. the reason we're talking about this is it's funny that the right has freaked out about it. That's what's funny about this. And again, back to the Times, they're sharing because Biden wasn't even really trying to get Taylor Swift's vote, but they all preempted it because they could see again the Swiftiness of the country and just how popular she was. Charlie Arnold, and again, another Fox News commentator, said, "Please don't believe everything Taylor Swift says. We're all begging you." And then Sean Hannity said on primetime, "Does Taylor realize the guy that they want her to endorse is a kind of stumbling, bumbling mess? Maybe," Mr. Hannity added. "She wants to think twice before making a decision about 2024. They were freaked out. And then things changed. There's bigger fish to fry. They thought they were winning. Donald Trump was nearly assassinated. And then there was a new candidate. And last night, that candidate got the endorsement of Taylor Swift. That's right. And now the right is very much freaking out about it. They cannot believe. And again, the things that she said were very, very, very lightweight. But we're going to go into basically her post said, "Look, I've done my research. Everyone should do their research. And I believe that we should vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz." And then she signed it, Childless Cat Lady. It was a very long remark. She had a photo of her posing with her cat. She talks about how AI was basically impersonating her, and like Trump was spreading all these AI images of like young white women in shirts that were like, yay Trump, and the same kinds of AI were being spread like of Taylor saying, like showing her support for Trump. It conjured my fears around AI. And the simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she's a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who's been standing up for LGBTQ plus rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. I've done my research. I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially for first-time voters, remember, in order to vote, you have to be registered. It's also much easier to vote early. I'll link to where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. With love and hope, Childless Cat Lady. Taylor Swift, Childless Cat Lady. I mean, perfect. We'll get into Elon Musk's disgusting response. But so there it was, and the right is freaking out about it because of course they are. Let's go to Megyn Kelly, who Megyn Kelly's favorite pastime is to dump on young women. Like that's it, Lord strike me down if I ever get to a point where I'm just dumping on younger women. Because that is just such a sign of being a has-been. Like that is the telltale sign of being a has-been is when you're like, younger women suck. And also really famous younger women suck.
Taylor Swift just endorsed Kamala Harris. Taylor Swift, yeah. She posted a picture of herself with her cat. Would you look at this? You can, of course. I'm like, you can kiss your sales to the Republican audience goodbye, Taylor. Hope you enjoyed them while you had them.
Sure. Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. All Republican women right now are burning their Taylor Swift CDs / deleting them from their playlists. But they definitely, they'll delete her from Apple Music, but like they still have her on Spotify and they still have her on their laptop, but not on their phones, just not on the phones, but like still in the car sometimes. But then this mix was made a long time ago, which is only when I'm sad. Okay.
And this is what she posts.
Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now's a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about the proposed policies, etc. Recently, I was made aware that an AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to its site, blah, blah, blah. And the simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I am voting for Kamala because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she's a steady-handed, gifted leader. And I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of her running mate, Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. Oh my God.
Even though we all know Trump has been, I was really into fertility. I was into fertilization. I've been the most into fertilization ever of any person, any man, mostly men. I've got the most fertilized eggs. Do you want to keep hearing me talk about fertilization?
So this woman is fine with his plan to take custody of the children from parents who don't want them to chop off their body parts and put them in Minnesota court's custody so the body parts can be chopped off and they can be sterilized outside the custody of their parents. That's what.
What? Is that what we're saying Tim Walz wants to do? Like Tim Walz is just Jeffrey Dahmer. Tim Walz wants to burn off body parts and then eat them. First he's going to pickle them, and then he's going to eat them. And he wants to keep them in a freezer. And then he's going to put a moth inside of their mouth. And like that's his calling card. And that's what's going to happen. And that was probably also Silence of the Lambs. But it's mostly Tim Walz.
What led Taylor Swift to endorse him? Can I tell you something? I criticized her about 6 months ago when she came out strongly in favor of, she went to a fundraiser to raise money for Hamas, supposedly Palestinians, but the group that.
She went to go see comedian Rami Youssef. That's what she did. He's an Egyptian comedian, Egyptian American. He was donating a portion of the proceeds to the people of Gaza. So cool.
That was doing the fundraising was known to funnel the money to Hamas. And I said, people should boycott her. It was an offhanded comment. People went nuts. Some lunatic dropped a note in my personal mailbox outside my house begging me not to boycott Taylor Swift, as though I have that power. I'm allowed to criticize Taylor Swift, and I don't give a shit who gets upset. This is disgusting. If she wants to vote Harris-Walz, she can do it all she wants. But to say the reason she's doing it is because of Tim Walz's stance on LGBTQ, F you, Taylor Swift, and F all of the people who want to see these children have body parts chopped off and watch them sterilized under the age of consent, and then will ride off to their multi-gazillion-dollar mansions, never to think of them again. And
did you see this part, dude? Did she just, when she breathed, girl, she was like they're gonna chop off the body. Nobody is chopping off body parts, but let us remember that when children's body parts are ripped off in schools, for example, by AR-15s and other guns, they have nothing to say. When the actual greatest threat to children in this country is gun violence, they got nothing to say. Instead, they're spinning all these lies. How dare they? I mean, first of all, she's picking on the greatest part of Taylor Swift's announcement, which was that she liked Tim Walz. I thought she was a Josh Shapiro guy, right? Like the fact that she's like, I like Tim Walz particularly because Tim Walz is hella cool with the gay community. He was, ever since he was in a high school, history teacher, sponsoring the Gay Straight Alliance. Like that, I think is incredibly sweet. And honestly, the debate really didn't touch at all on LGBTQ plus rights. Sadly, except for when Trump again claimed that Kamala Harris wanted to give surgeries to migrants in prison to turn them, like give them sex changes. Okay. Like this is the level of insanity and freak out. And then the other tack, right? First it's F you. And then it's, you're like not even that big of a deal. And Ben Shapiro loves this man who has done entire viral videos about the Barbie movie. Says, note, if you vote for a particular candidate because your favorite singer is doing so, please don't vote. You are too stupid to vote. So there's that. You're too stupid to vote. Now, when someone says don't vote, you're too stupid to vote, what do you want to do? You want to vote. You want to vote. And like, again, I'll tell you this much. People like Taylor Swift for a reason. It is not because she's like, you know, and I hate to throw, fire shots at Katy Perry, but she's not vacuous. She's not completely vacuous, right? People follow Taylor Swift because they think she's like, has shit to say, as ridiculous as you think that might be. They're like, she seems like a person, a woman with a good head on their shoulders. She seems like I would want her to be my friend, my older sister. Like that's the energy Taylor gives off. I'm sorry to break it to you, but after being a little bit tay-pilled, I could tell you it's not because she's like hot and wears cute shorts or like has good outfit or makeup. Like it's not actually all that vacuous. So when Taylor Swift does endorse someone, it comes from a little bit more of a like, yeah, like her lifestyle brand isn't just how she looks and sings. Do you understand what I'm saying? But again, Shapiro calling people stupid, and JD Vance is doing what I was calling earlier. She's not that big of a deal. Like, she's like mid. She's like not that big of a pop star. Here we go.
Endorsement of Harris and Walz right after. She has 283 million followers on Instagram, and I'm sure that someone brought to your attention that she signed it Childless Cat Lady. This is a phrase that you are going to hear in your dreams and your nightmares probably for many years to come. How do you speak
because it's going to cost you the election, you dumb shit,
to women voters who obviously they care about what she thinks?
Of course. Well, look, we admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans. Look,
we're going to be influenced by a billionaire's errand boy, namely JD Vance, in the pocket of Peter Thiel, who is very much connected to the American people because JD Vance keeps, Peter Thiel keeps a poor person in his pocket just right next to where JD Vance lives, like right up by it. It's a back pocket, so it's right on his ass, and there's a poor person and then there's JD Vance, and that's how they stay connected to, the real Appalachia. So who cares about this billionaire? Oh, what about my billionaire?
grocery prices go up by 20%, it hurts most Americans. It doesn't hurt Taylor Swift. When housing prices become unaffordable, it doesn't affect Taylor Swift or any other billionaire. It does affect middle-class Americans all over our country. And so,
what about your benefactors? You're absolutely right. Like, this is a good line against Taylor Swift. Like, oh yeah, she's not going to feel the effects. Except, what if she does get pregnant? What if she gets pregnant? What if she has a unviable? What if she wants to get pregnant? Let's say she wants to have a family. What if she eventually does decide to expand and give the cat a sister or a brother? And she has a non-viable pregnancy. Something happens, something life-threatening. And what if she needs to be rushed to an emergency room? But what if she's touring and she's touring in a red state and she can't get access to the hospital because the hospital workers are afraid that if they give her any kind of medical treatment, they will be accused of performing an abortion? What if that happens? Yeah. She could get on her private jet and fly somewhere else. Don't get it twisted. I'm not defending Taylor Swift's private jet or her billionaire status, but I'm telling you the reality is that she will still be treated the same way that other women are treated. And you think I'm lying? We know that Beyonce, and again, I'm not trying to only talk about celebrities here, but we know that Beyonce was actually had a complication when she was giving birth to her twins. And nearly, real serious shit nearly happened to her. I don't remember the exact story, but you know what I'm saying? Like, even Beyonce, even someone with that much money, that much celebrity status, is still at the end of the day a woman, and is still at the end of the day a Black woman. We know Serena Williams had a similar experience when she, I think, was hemorrhaging after giving birth, and she had a farm, again, nearly died. So yes, she won't feel the impacts of the housing crisis. You know, he is correct. But she absolutely is still a woman who, if you give the zygote personhood rights, a doctor might decide she can die if zygote can live. Oh, the zygote can't live? Oh, the zygote's non-viable? Doesn't matter. We will do everything in our power possible to protect this unborn, not real life over the person who is carrying it. That happens. That is where we are headed. So, better line than Ben Shapiro's, I guess. Here's the worst line. Obviously, the worst line. Kamala Harris. Elon Musk. I was reading. The worst line on the whole Taylor thing is Elon Musk, who promptly tweeted in response to Taylor's post about endorsing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, said, "Fine, Taylor, you win. I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life." First of all, Elon, nobody sleeps with you without like the guarantee of a horse. You know what I'm saying? You got to at least offer her something. We know you like offering ponies. So, I don't know, is Taylor a horse girl? This is the richest man on earth who owns a massive platform tweeting that he will give Taylor Swift a child. And we wonder why there is such a political gulf between young men and young women right now, is because young men are taught to look up to this guy. And young women do look up to someone like Taylor Swift, like it or not. Therein lies the nobody's fucking problem. You really want to up the birth rates? Stop worshiping this massive midlife crisis troll who is weirdly threatening Taylor with a child. But apparently it's not the first time he's tweeted at her and gone psycho at her. This is May of this year, replying to Taylor Swift on X. I'm not quite the target audience, but nonetheless very impressive. And then some risk of popularity decline after this award. I speak from experience. Lol. Congrats in December of last year. I recommend posting some music or concert videos directly on the X platform. Love me back. Here's more. Just laughy emoji, laugh crying emoji, cigarette smoking emoji after Taylor Swift posts something. Another, it was great. And your tweets are good. More countries should tweet like this. No fun being all stuffy. This was back to between Israel and Taylor Swift. Remember, Israel has also been like, Taylor, love us. Taylor, love us. Like, who are the ones screeching about the endorsement of Taylor Swift? It's not Kamala Harris. It's Joe Biden. You think Joe Biden gives a shit? Joe Biden don't even know who anybody is. He said Britney Spears up until like a little bit ago. It's Elon. It's Fox News. They're the ones who are like, oh, please. Oh, don't get into politics. But if you do, please get into my politics. I want to give you a baby. And then simultaneously, they claim that nobody should listen to her and she's not even that great of a pop star and she's an idiot. You can't have it both ways. This is so creepy. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do